Good morning. It's Gramp back again on the 944 land speed car. Excuse me. Sometimes I walk by stuff for 2 or 3 days and try to figure out how I want to go about it. And the piping's always that way. Getting better at it though, after 2 or 3 times on the exhaust and a couple times on the turbo discharge. So what I'm going to do today, and I was going to do something else, but I said, nah, I want to work on this pipe and make a good video, because it's always a challenge, because you hate to make mistakes because you can't go backwards, for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and out of camera here. I've got what I call a gunner, which gives me a direction. That's a 30-degree that I got. And I'm going to shoot for over here. And what I've got is the old piece, which I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to cut off this. This used to go in here like this because the turbo was quite a ways back in and it faced forward. We had a 90 on here. But this goes in here, and I got to decide if I can make it by cutting this. And what I think I'll do is I'm going to cut this off right here and start from there. That way there I can get it pushed into place and see if I can straight line it from the 30-degree over into here someplace. The main thing is when you start to go around the curve or the elbow, the shape of it changes, so you've got to watch out for that. And I have before kind of moved it around so it fits, but I'm going to cut this off right here to start with. We'll waste this whole piece. I was going to go with this, but I don't think it's going to make it. I'd like to. I may cut them both off right here, which I think is what I'll do, because this is basically a waste. I don't think I'll ever use this again, so I'll be right back. My hearing protection because it's loud. You want to make sure I blow the junk out of them. You don't want to end up putting it in here and have it come around and go in here. Not a good idea. I'm going to deburr these with this deburring tool. It's just a simple, it's got a cutting edge on there. Had it for years. All machine shops have them for deburring metal. I could put it on the grinder, but that's just a bunch of dust flying in the air. You probably wonder why I'm always wearing this shop coat or frock, as they call them. And one of the biggest reasons where I've always been in working with steel, aluminum and stainless steel, is you're always grinding stuff. And you know where it ends up, right on the front of you. And then you want to go into the house or stop for a cut, whatever it might be, get in your vehicle and you've got that junk all over you. And you drop it wherever you walk to. So I wear this and I take it off before I go inside or get in my vehicle, shake it out every now and then. Makes it kind of nice. I gotta blow this out again. It's over the years I've always come up with these crazy brainstorms. It's like my fender covers. All I have is old towels and stuff you can buy at the local Staples or office supplies, just regular clips. And you just clip it to the inside of the flange all the way around the fenders and stuff, and it's not in your way, a fender cover, because you're covering up possibly where you want to work, and that's still got debris in there. We don't want that. Yeah, my whole family's always been in the cars. So it's been probably 60 years for me messing around with them. Easily that. Now, make sure there isn't any junk in there. Now we'll see which one is going to fit the best. Let's try the original one that went in here. Try not to stare at the top of my head. I'll put a little bit of something on to make it slide easier. A little glass cleaner or something. The other thing is that as soon as I get this in here, that's about where it should be. The other thing is I've got to skirt this water neck. We had one that faced this way and went down because I've got to get down in here. You kind of take the larger pipe that you're working with, try to get that out of the way first and then come back to this. So I either got to stay up a little bit high or I've got to stay low. And I'm thinking that, yeah, after many times of walking by this, I can turn this and change the angle of it, but right now I am in where I should be because this is a air to water intercooler. Now, interesting. Yeah, see, it's going to be tight. I can move this a little bit. I've already cut this off. This leg here on this side was as long as this, but it moved it way out here, and I didn't want it that long. So I think that might make it. Like I say, don't want to get into this curve down here too much. Let me see if I got a shorter piece to work with. Basically a box of stuff over there. The main thing is to get it in there somewhat straight. Doesn't have to be in very far to get an idea what we're looking at here. Now, little trusted bevel square. Let's see if we can use the straight side here. First of all, I think I want to put that 90. If I hold that on at a 90, I should be able to figure out whereabouts I want to be over here. It's just getting it in there is the problem. If I could have imaginary straight line, it would be nice. But let's pick this up a bit. I'm kind of visualizing where that cut should be for that to drop in there, but as you can see, I'm by center here, and I need this to follow over to here. So if I move this all the way in, it even makes it worse. So I'd have to come way by here. So let's turn this down. Pull this piece out. I'm sure there's probably a more scientific way of doing this, but I like the gunning method of many years of plumbing and pipe fitting and stuff. All right, get in there. A little lube. And I'm trying to clean everything up too. I haven't been happy with the way things look. And this year, where I've cut down on the total amount of work that I've done on this thing, like I say, I'm trying to clean stuff up, make it look nicer, more professional, if you will. Let's roll this back out. Yeah, see, that's going to be a tough go of it right there. It might make it, but it's going to be too far over. I'll have to cut that off at an angle. And it's a tough call right there. Of course, trying to skirt everything out. Let's get the other piece I cut off. Let's try that one. The only thing, it doesn't have this angle on it. It's going to be straight up. But we'll try it anyway. What I'd like to do is put a black mark on here. I like to put a mark on it so reference how far I've got it in, so I don't shortchange myself. Of course, it would help if I put the black mark in a better spot. I actually like the challenge of doing the piping of this thing, which of course there is a lot of piping. And see, that's going to shoot it up in the air, which could be an issue. No, that's not going to work. And I don't want to turn it down and try. Then you're trying to get this angle and this angle. And it, like I say, the more angle you have cut, the larger the diameter is going to be, because you're cutting through the curve or the elbow. So I'm not going to use that one. That's out of the question. If this gets into too long a time, I'll probably cut it short and do a continuation, but we'll get as much as we can in about a half hour. I don't want to bore anybody. Yeah, so Yeah, and I could I could actually come over the top. I'm gonna have to build something here anyway. We always have. I'll show you the other one that we had. It was a last minute, but it was in there like that. And we went down because the other one went like this and over, so we went down underneath. This one here, because there's no room here. We could shoot down through here possibly, but we might have to do a 90 and come over the top. These are just a whole bunch of 944 elbows and stuff. I've got about a half a dozen of them, all from different engines. But we can always make something out of aluminum pipe for that. That's about the only part you end up jury rigging. But this right here, I wonder if we were to go use part of this elbow to, let's see if we can do it. I'm trying to get rid of joints so it looks nicer, but I can see that this is not. If I shove that down in there further, it might help the situation. Try and come up with a happy medium here. Hard to do that. I might have to put a small elbow piece right here. Which is my Hall sensor wiring. Well, let's do this differently. Let's take this off. We know where that is. Fun. It doesn't work. Sometimes I look at this stuff and I get to a point where I can't get anywhere and I just kind of walk off and leave it and do something else and come back to it, think about it, and rather than pressure yourself into getting it the first time. It's not like I'm on a timetable right now. I wish that wasn't there. If I cut that piece off right there, I can always move this a little bit and that a little bit. Let's see how lucky we are. I'm going to pot shot it here. Let's try that. I'm going to make an imaginary line here. We're just going to cut straight through it anyways, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a little long, but let's try that. Hit or miss. It's always a shot in the dark doing it this way, but let's see what happens. Might be better off than I think. Oops, just put some stuff on there. Make sure you don't get any junk down in there. Kind of funny, my son and I were talking about the other day about this throttle body. It's the original one. We figured that would be the choke point at this point, as far as between charge pressure and boost pressure, but we've only got like 1 pound difference. So this right now is not in an obstruction as far as flow of air going into the intake manifold. But with this new compressor and a lot bigger compressor, or the turbo end housing being so much bigger, I think the next choke point we are going to realize that we're going to have to get a bigger throttle body for it. But that's okay, because we've been wanting to redo this. We have a plenum that I bought a couple of years ago. Well, isn't that something? The thing is, when you get two elbows, don't know how many of you have heard of a plumber's elbow, and you've got two 90s, and you can take those two 90s and you can make any configuration you want. Well, you get a 90 here, 90 here, and you also have this movement, you always also have this movement to adjust this thing in place. And to hit that right there like that, I'd say that was pretty good. You have got to grind it a little bit, but now we're going to take it over and put it on the belt sand and square both of these up to hit. But that was a pretty good shot. I got it shoved in here quite a ways, which doesn't matter. We don't care about that. This thing here, it's pretty comfortable where it is. What I'm going to do is take that over and grind that. Both of these pieces square. So I'll be off camera for a little while. But that was a pretty good shot, just to hit that like that. I'll be back. I really like to find an old greasy rag to do this. The only thing is, once you get done using it, cleaning out the stuff inside, you want to wash these because when you go to weld it could be contaminated, a little bit of oil film. But the oily rag will help pick up the dust inside. Basically drag it out, hopefully. Some of this stuff is pretty nasty on the inside. Looks good. Alright, let's see how we did. The only thing I want to do right now is that's pretty straight right there, so that's going to be pretty round. Let's get another piece that's straight and see how, because you can see this is a little oblong here, and I might have to correct that a little bit to fit up to this. Because it changes. Yeah, see, the diameter is okay. It's just, also I want to make sure it's good and square so my son doesn't get after me about having a bad fit, because it makes his welding day go not good. And he'll always tell me, yeah, I think I can get that. He's like, I sure hope so. Stainless steel is, like all the exhaust being stainless steel, that's a challenge. The grinding is so much harder to do. Let's see how we screwed this up. I think we're going to be in further. I should have put something on that. But I'm happy with that, as long as we can get the rest of it in anyways. I've got to put something on this, because this is just... The silicone adapters and hose and stuff, it loves to cling to stuff that's clean. I like to use glass cleaner because it slides in okay, but it will also evaporate in time off the inside of the hose, rather than using a petroleum-based something to get it to go together. Man, that was a good shot right there. I'm happy with that. Without a doubt. I'll move it in just a little. But one-time shot, that was pretty good. Now I got to step back in and think of what is going to be an issue. I don't think anything. This can go either way, down through or over the top. We'd have to change this, that's all. So what I'm going to do, is tighten this up. I don't think I want to go up and down any. I want to tighten the compressor end up right where it is, so that it doesn't get moved. Not that it matters, because when we put it together, we can reclock it anyway. And this hose seems to fit good. It's all the way into here, so it's quite a ways in. So what I want to do is mark this. I'm going to put a mark across here like this. Like so. And that way there, we can take this out. That went well. I like that. Nice when things go well. So that I'm lining this up over here because I've already got some other aluminum to weld. The cover for this that I made so that it, just in case we get a catastrophic failure and it decides to blow the oil all into the catch can, rather than spraying it out of here and back onto the exhaust and setting the car on fire, I made a cover for this, which he's got to put the top on. Now that right there, all he's got to do is line those two up and weld that. What I normally do is clean this up to the line, get it all clean, then I reclock it, put another line on where it's clean, and then clean up this so that it's all ready to weld. So that was it. That was pretty easy. That went real well. I'm happy with that. that's when he comes over, we can have a welding session. So now, trying to think of how long we've been. I can't tell. I'm just curious about how many minutes we've been at this. It wasn't very long. I think what I'm going to do is pop this off and do this. I got my lines crimped from my oil supply to the turbo. So let's pop that off. We'll include that in this. Do the number 6 here. I had this up here gunning this part and so on and so forth. I got a bunch of wires I got to redo. Where the turbo is now, the alternator is not in the best of places. So, yep. All right. Like I say, this is the turbo oil supply. This is a pressure regulator. Takes the pressure from the regular oil system pressure, which is like 70, 80 pounds, and controls it to, oops, let's flip that over, to 40 pounds, so it doesn't over-pressurize the seal. And this one here, tighten these up. This goes on top of here. I was going to put a bracket on this, but I could see that these are high pressure hydraulic hoses. I think they're good for like 4,000 pounds, somewhere in there. But stiff enough so it holds us up in place pretty good. They were left over from last year when I hooked this up for last year. Oops, let's get this out of the way here. Like I said, this stuff's pretty stiff. It's like triple braid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an arc in this so it holds this up and tighten that up right there. And that right there will hold that up out of the way. I do have 2 wires that go in there, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think what I'm going to do is turn that up. There's a place on there for a gauge, which I don't particularly like putting pressure gauges on something that's at vibration. There's an arrow on here for flow too. So let's snug that up right there. I'm not going over it. Snug this up right here. I wanted to move this up because it's in the way of the wires. That's nice. I like that. I don't know if you can see all the way back here. Probably can't, but there's another point. I got to add another tube there for the sensor for the exhaust. But that should do it. Probably the next thing is going to be pulling wires, which that's going to be a slow process. I might have to rewire some of this. These are the original wires that go to the alternator, but I don't know if they're going to be long enough. Plus, kind of crusty. They're still in good shape and everything, but still, I'd like to replace them if possible. But that went well, so that's done. That's a big thing out of the way. And I still got the inlet to the throttle body to do out of here. That was 3 down to 2 3/4, but I reversed the boot, the silicone boot around, which I'll get into that as soon as I finish this, so I can put the manifold on permanently. But that should do it for today. Just a kind of a short one, but that's all right. We'll see you next time, and support our channel. Thank you. Bye.